Astor.
They said
Uh,
only if you're paying them, otherwise that's your business.
okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, cool.
Oh, thank you for getting that graphic up, Autumn.
All right. Really. Yes, Lori, agreed. You can have a high yield savings account. It's not gonna, it probably won't be a business account, but you can use it for your biz. Keep it separate.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Ash, are you in here? Are you around?
Well, I'm a sign
Right
out.
here.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, I meant Ashes and Aisha, not you, Asher. But
Okay.
yes,
I'm here.
okay, awesome. Can you let me know if we're live on Instagram if that just worked?
And Ollie, since I am here, this is Asher. Would you make me a co-host, please?
Yeah, no problem. Let me find you. Sorry, I feel like I'm playing Tetris with tabs. There we go. There's Asher. Okay, you're set. I'm sorry, your audio is a bit warbled. Can you say that again? Oh, we're live on it. Awesome. Okay, good.
No, can't see that here. Cannot.
Can you type what you're saying? I'm not sure why your audio is coming through weird. It might be. No, I have that muted. Thanks. Oh, I could use my phone. Sure. Wait. Oh, come on. Oh, I don't see it. Okay. Oh, here. I see what's wrong. Okay, I think we should be live on Instagram now. I think I fixed it. Yes. Okay, it looks like.
Yep.
Okay, and then can we check LinkedIn next?
LinkedIn, I can see it.
Awesome. Okay, and then just Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, Facebook too.
We're live everywhere. Now I need. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's a great point. I should spotlight folks. Thank you, Dana. Or can I pin? Can I pin multiple people? No.
You may want to wait to spotlight until after our sponsors have had a chance to speak.
Yes.
I think they should be spotlit first.
Gotcha. Gigi's not here yet, is she?
She is. I saw her.
Okay, I will find her. Oh, oh wait, I found her note taker first. Hold on.
I'm here. It's going to be me, Ollie, and Heather.
Awesome. Thank you for talking. That brought you right to the front of my screen.
Beautiful.
We're happy to be here. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, Heather, it sounds like a little far away. I'm not sure if maybe you just need to be closer.
Or enunciate a little bit louder?
Oh, that's better. If whatever changed, yeah.
Done.
Awesome.
I can project.
I'm gonna go ahead and pin you guys and myself because I'll introduce you and then let you talk.
Gotta use your teacher voice, Heather.
Heather, how do you pronounce your last name? I'd like to introduce you as well. I just want to make sure I don't butcher it.
I appreciate that. It's Saunders.
Saunders. Okay, see, this is why I asked because that would not have been my first guess. Saunders. And then Gigi, is it Sutton or Sutton? Awesome. Cool.
Correct. Yes. Thank
That's my
you.
baby cousin's name. It's his first name, but it's fun. Ash, could you actually drop the live stream link for the different live stream links for folks in the chat so they can share it with people easily if they'd like to who aren't at the conference? Thank you. Oh, it is 5:30. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Um, Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, and I thank you all for making time to be here today. To kick us off, I'm really excited to introduce Heather Saunders and Gigi Sutton from ACES. Gigi is the executive director of ACES and someone I've been in contact with since I first started here at the EFA. It's very wonderful having them here, considering the long relationship we've had, and it's so exciting for us to have our own first virtual conference. I also just want to give them a big shout out for supporting our virtual conference and helping us make this happen today. So they wanted to say a few words, so I'm going to hand it over to them.
Thanks, Ollie, and thank you, Autumn. We're so excited to be here. Again, I'm Gigi Sutton. I'm the executive director for ACES, and I'm so delighted to be here. I'm joined by, I believe you already introduced her, our fearless leader, President Heather, and she'll be talking a little bit and sharing some exciting news about ACES and all the things that we have coming up. First, I wanted to extend a big warm thank you to EFA for having us. We're so excited to be a sponsor and supporting EFA. Over the years, ACES and EFA have built a relationship based on a mutual respect, shared values, and a common mission, and supporting editors and advancing the editing profession. Our ongoing collaboration has not only strengthened our organizations, but we also advocate for the entire editing industry. When we support one another, we amplify our voices, expand our reach, and create more opportunities for editors everywhere. This shared commitment is really something truly that I value, and on behalf of the board, we all value with the EFA. And we're so proud to uphold these values. With that said, I am turning things over to our lovely President, Heather, who will share some exciting things about ACES. Heather, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Gigi. Hello, dear EditBuddies. I am, as has been mentioned, Heather E. Saunders. I am president of ACES, the Society for Editing, and I am thrilled to join you all for the EFA's virtual conference and 55th anniversary celebration. This is a big deal. ACES and the EFA have a strong partnership and a shared mission to support, train, and welcome editors in all fields, all experience levels, and all passions. And personally, I'm grateful for all that the EFA has done and continues to do for editors. When I first moved to Boston, I was a journalistically trained editor who had just launched a freelance business. I had such positive experiences here at the EFA. I was immediately greeted with resources, training, and community, and it helped both me and my business get surer footing in the editing world. I actually even began my editorial volunteer work right here at the EFA, first as the Boston chapter event coordinator, which, as you can imagine, finding a space to host small, intimate editing events in Boston was a delightful challenge, and then as the Boston chapter coordinator. So I understand the deep value being here brings. I'm delighted that you're all here at this event, and I encourage you to really take the time, soak this all in. Get everything out of it you can in these fabulous sessions, in the quick chats with other editors, and all the discussions that will follow from the live streams that are happening. And I will encourage you to continue this growth, this learning, and this professional development at the ACES VCon. We have our 4th annual virtual conference running from Wednesday, September 17th through Friday, September 19th of this year. And registration is open until 1 minute before midnight Eastern Time, Monday, September 8th. So that's 11:59 p.m. for all of us very precise people. It's held in the Whova app, and it will feature 3 dozen breakout sessions with a selection from a wide range of topics and for a wide range of skill levels. They are designed to support new and established editors working in industries and specialties around the US and around the world to help expand and grow your professional skills. We are also introducing Spatial Chat, which is sponsored by Perfected, which I think many of you know and love, where you'll be able to connect and chat almost like we're in person. So high five to all of you being here. Cheers to you for investing in yourself and your business. I hope your water bottles are filled, or your coffee cups are filled, your notebooks are open, and your pens are ready because there's so much to learn. Cheers to you all.
Thank you so much. Oh, that was lovely. I appreciate that very much.
Thanks
And
for
I'm
having
sure
us.
the rest of us here at EFA do too. Hi again to everybody. And thank you again just so much for being here with us today as we celebrate the EFA turning 55 years old. Happy birthday. I'm really excited to have put this panel together with longtime EFA members. I'm also gonna go ahead and pin myself so everybody can see me. Remove pin. There we go. It was so lovely getting to put this panel together with longtime EFA members as I got to learn more about this organization that I just truly adore and love getting to work for. And I got to learn directly about them of how the EFA became what it is today. I'd like to take a moment, though, to read out some names of folks who helped shape this community who aren't here anymore. This is not an all-encompassing list, so just at the end, I want us all to take a moment of silence to also remember anybody that I've missed, as I haven't been at the EFA forever, so there are definitely folks out there that I'm not aware of. But Ruth Mullen, Mary Shear, Sheila Bill, Trumbull Rogers and Patricia Godfrey are some folks. And then if we could all just take a moment of silence. I'd also like to take time to acknowledge our longtime EFA members who are still here with us and have been part of our wonderful community for 10 years or more. Some of them are here in the room with us, and some of them will be on the panel speaking. But we have Sheila Buff, Joy Drohan, Elliot Linzer, Catherine O'More Klopf, Ruth E. Thaler Carter, Marta Steele, Susanna Driver Barstow, Robin Martin, Dave Hall, Christina Frey, Karen Wallace, Wendy Mayeroff, and Lisa L. Owens. Again, that's not an all-encompassing list. So for anyone not mentioned, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart and from all of us here at EFA staff. We wouldn't get to do what we do without you all. So thank you very, very much. And before I introduce our wonderful panel and moderator and hand the reins over to them, I'm very excited to get to announce our door prize winners. And if you didn't know, coming to the conference, you were entered in for a possibility of 5 door prizes. We have 4 mystery swag bags that will be sent out to winners. And then I'm very excited to announce our Follow Fest winner. We've been running a Follow Fest on LinkedIn and Instagram. If you followed us both and then emailed me to let me know, we were able to enter you and randomly select someone. But first, I'm going to read off the winners of those 4 swag bags. So the first person I saw was definitely in here. Their name is Tasha. Tasha, you're one of our winners. So if you could reach out to me, oliver.ray@theefa.org, I would be with your address and your name for me to send that to you. I'd be happy to get that in the mail. Our next winner is Shan Emanuele. I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm so sorry. But Shan, I know you're here, I'm pretty sure. So I'm excited to announce you as another winner. We also have Rachel Thompson. You're one of our swag bag winners. And lastly, we have Karen Gardner. You're one of our swag bag winners. So I'm pretty sure I just saw Autumn put my email in the chat. If you're one of our winners for the swag bags, please email me, oliver.ray@the-efa.org with your address and your name, and I'd be happy to get that in the mail to you next week. And then lastly, we have our Follow Fest. We have our grand prize in a way. We'll be giving another door prize out tomorrow at the closing ceremonies. That door prize will be a year free EFA membership. So please come and see. You could, if it's you who won. But for our Follow Fest winner, I'll do a little drum roll. We have Rachel Hall. I know she was registered for the conference. I saw her earlier. I don't know if she's in here, but congratulations, Rachel Hall. You are our Follow Fest winner and you get a year of free EFA membership. So thank you all again for just being here and participating. But that's all from me. Please make sure, like I said, to come to the closing ceremonies tomorrow. And now I'm so excited to introduce our panel. So first, we have our moderator, Lisa Goich. She's a new board member, so we thought it would be fun to have a newer board member interview or talk to some of our older board members. For our first person on the panel, we have Joy Drohan. I'm gonna pin her. And I'll let them give themselves a small introduction as well. But then we also have, where did Elliot go? There you are. Hi, Elliot. Pinning you. And then lastly, we have, oh, there's Sheila. There we go. Sheila Buff. So excited to introduce you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves, and then Lisa, take it away.
Hi, everybody. I'm so honored to be here with everybody and especially our legacy members. This is really a treat for me. I'm so proud to be an EFA member. I'm relatively a newbie. I've been here, I think this is now my 2nd year. And when I saw that they were looking for board seats, I was really eager to do it because I just love everything that the EFA does. And I'm so happy to be a big part of it now. So, and also very honored to be here doing this to moderate. I'm going to start. I think we should start and just go around in our circle for everybody to introduce themselves on the panel, and maybe start with how long have you been EFA members? When did you first join, and what made you join the EFA? So we'll start with, I guess, Sheila.
Hi, I'm Sheila Buff. I'm a medical writer. I first joined EFA shortly after I began freelancing, which would be roughly, about 1980 or so. No, maybe a little bit later. And I've been a member ever since. I joined because I was looking for health insurance, which we offered at the time. I could go off on a long story about that, but I won't. And I was also just looking to connect with other freelancers, but it was much easier to do that because in those days when I joined EFA, there were about 400 members.
Wow.
And they were almost all based in and around, mostly in New York City. And they almost exclusively worked in trade publishing. And of course, the organization has changed quite a bit since then.
Okay, and then next up we have Joy Drohan. Joy, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started with EFA.
Hi, everyone. I have been an EFA member since at least 2014. I think before that, I joined for professional support and networking. I am a freelance science writer and editor, mostly in environmental and agricultural sciences, and I work with universities, environmental agencies at the state and federal level. Well, not federal so much anymore, but yeah, I served on the EFA board for, I think, 4 years as secretary, and one of those I was also the job list chair. Yeah, so it's been a great experience.
Excellent. And finally, we have Elliot Linzer. Elliot, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm a freelance indexer. I've been indexing since 1969, freelancing since 1971. I've been I've been part of EFA since before EFA had a name. Since 1974, November 1974 was my first meeting. I've been working in the publishing industry since 1964. I'm not quite as old as that sounds. I was a teenager.
You're old.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm ancient. Yeah. I mean, my family thinks I knew dinosaurs. Yeah. So I've been an indexer all this time. I was EFA co-exec 1990 and 1992. Been on the board at several different times. Although freelancing and working publishing is only a part of my life. In 1963, I served on the national staff of the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom under Bayard Rustin. A few years later, I was a draft resistor. Sections of the 1967 Selective Service Act were declared unconstitutional in my case, Linzer et al. Versus Selective Service Local Board 64 et al. And still a precedent. If anyone's interested, I can tell you the details of that. But I'm a political activist. Most of the work I do is on political books, which so I like. I mean, there are whole areas of knowledge that I don't go near, but politics, economics, statistics are the things I specialize in.
Beautiful. You know, this makes me want to do an editor's documentary on all of the different things that editors do that nobody realizes editors do. You know, it's really interesting. Let me start with I'm going to go to Joy here with this question. Over the years, can you share a specific way that EFA resources or connections have helped grow your career over the years? How has it helped you?
Yeah. Well, one of the projects I'm working on this September for pretty much the whole month is for a client that I got from the EFA job list, I think in 2016 or 2018. And I worked with them sporadically, since that time. And I've probably invoiced them for $60,000 to $80,000. So, that's been great. I never would have expected to get that kind of return on investment.
Nice.
EFA membership. So yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, that needs to be a quote. Like that should be a quote on the front page of the website. Somebody note that, quote that, put it up. Okay. And Sheila,
other jobs have come from them as well, but not as substantial as that.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. It's a great testament. And Sheila, same question to you. How have the way that the EFA resources or connections have helped you in your career?
Well, there've been a lot. I've gotten a number of gigs from the job list and by being approached directly through the directory, and I would encourage everyone to make sure their directory entry is up to date.
Yeah.
But actually, one of the best connections I made at EFA was with an agent named Gary Krebs, and Gary was able to help me get one of my first ghostwriting gigs. And
oh, cool.
Yeah, and that was a big step for me. and I've been basically ghosting ever since. So, and it was through an EFA connection. So the networking of the EFA is just incredibly valuable.
Yeah, that's great. And Elliot, over to you with the same question.
Well, back in the beginning years, when we met face to face, I made invaluable contacts, which led to my working on a whole bunch of important books and got my reputation established. I guess now you could do this virtually, but there were many, many, many EFE meetings, and you got to meet people and know people, and people would learn each other's specialties, each other's skills, and that really came in handy for developing contacts.
Yeah, that's great. And I know we were just talking about like the directory, Sheila. That was Sheila, right? You mentioned the directory, the importance of the directory. What EFA programs or benefits do you find that you turn to the most for help daily?
Oh, on a daily basis?
Or just regularly, what do you find yourself turning
I
to?
use the directory maybe once a month or so, because sometimes I need to refer a client to someone to index a book or copy edit or something like that. So I usually what I do is I kind of do some of the initial checking out for them, and then I can usually say, here are 3 or 4 people you can contact and see who's available, or it's the right person for you. I don't usually respond to job list postings these days. Most of them are really not in my area. One thing I've really noticed, when I first joined EFA, there was something called the job phone, which used a telephone answering service and a answering machine to post the jobs.
I love that.
Oh,
I think we need to bring back the job phone.
Oh,
Who wants to be
that was
the helm of the phone?
Yeah, Trumbull Rogers, one of our longtime members, sadly departed, founded the job phone, and then
I love that.
Yeah, and then when I took it over, we moved over to the job list, so we put it online. And the big change was that we no longer charge clients to post a job. We made it free, and that did increase the number of jobs quite a bit. But the thing I've noticed over the years, and Joy can probably speak to this as well. When we were first doing the job list, the jobs were very much editorial skills for trade books, textbooks, some advertising and copywriting type stuff. Very, very publishing oriented, and then we had a lot of academic people looking for help with fairly serious journal articles and dissertations and things like that. And we very rarely got a posting for fiction. And I would say now that the bulk of the postings on the job list are for genre fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to me that's a huge change. It makes it far less useful to me, but it's also a huge change to see the way the need for freelancers has shifted like that.
Yeah, and I think it's also it's the marketplace now, right? I mean,
exactly.
So many people, and being able to self-publish also, I think, would add to that bulk of people looking for editors, right?
Right, exactly. Same thing with memoir. That's another. Am I right, John? I mean, these are just sort of impressions I get because I don't read it that closely. But
yeah, I mean, we also get a good number. Well, at least when I was doing it, I think it was 2021, 2022. We were getting a good number of ads for like companies that were producing educational materials, whether it was test questions or like test prep review materials kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that was
it's
the
really all
standby
over
for the job list.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love that you said, Sheila, that you actually turn to the directory to find other members to help when it's something that you think you might not be fit for, but other people will be. And I think all of those members should take note of that, because what a great way to share your community and to help the other people in this community. I love that. So thank you.
Exactly. It's so easy because if a client, I've done their manuscript, but it's I still need to be edited, right? So we need to get a copy editor in there, and later on they need indexers and stuff like that. And it's just so easy to use the directory. And then, you know, I recognize a lot of names just from being a longtime member and participating in the discussion list and being active in.
I was going to say that when people contribute, you know, helpful information to the discussions, that makes you visible to people who might have work to farm out, you know, so.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, the discussion list, when we first started it in, I guess it was 1999, you know, it was a new concept then. And to this day, Elliot and I still call it a forum, right? Which was the old.
Oh, the forum?
Yeah, they call them forums or listservs. And of course, that's terminology that's long gone. But, you know, the National Writers Union had something similar. And I couldn't access it because I wasn't a member, but I did get in touch with the fellow who was in charge of it. And I called him and I said, tell me about this. How, you know, I wanted to know what to expect. I said, you know, how many postings do you get in the course of a week or a month? And he said, you know, in a month we get about 100. And I realized in retrospect that this was a prank that he was playing on a newbie. Because within the first month of starting the discussion list, we had 1,000 postings.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa,
yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that, yeah. So and that's been a great tool for just getting to know people, even though you know, you're not meeting them face to face, but personalities come through on these things.
Yeah.
And also people who are willing to contribute are the people you want to work with. They're the ones who are most open and most supportive and most helpful.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's the best when you know, that's how you get to know people and get to know their work style and get to know everything else.
Right, exactly. So. And then when you need to make a referral, they're the ones who come to mind.
Yeah. So heed that advice, everybody that's listening right now. That's really, really important. Elliot, how about you? What programs or benefits?
Well, right currently, I hate to say it, but not very much because, you know, my career is kind of winding down. I am up there in years. And I know I have like 1 or 2 regular clients. I'm not hustling that much. Very, very few of the job announcements are relevant to indexers, and the ones I've seen have been far outside my wheelhouse, far outside my range of knowledge. So I haven't succeeded in getting onto what is the current version of the discussion list. I'm sure it's very active, but most of this over the years, most of the discussion was about copy editing, and I found myself deleting most of the things without reading them. I found most interesting discussions that were cross-disciplinary lines that were very interesting, but I kind of missed those a little. But look, I'm getting like 300 emails a day, and knowing that there are these things that are going on, that I can spend all day on email. My wife complains I do spend all day on my email, but I do miss that a little bit. But to tell you the truth, my career is at a point where the services that EFA offers is mostly for people, you know, getting started and building their career. I'm not building my career now.
Yeah. But you're still staying in touch with everybody, so that aspect of it is helpful to you.
Yeah, I've written to a couple of old timers about this. Well, David Hall said he's busy with something else tonight. Yeah, and it turned out David Hall is about a 90-minute drive from where I am in Florida. But I lived in New York for my entire life until earlier this year when I moved to Florida.
Oh, wow.
Couldn't afford to stay in New York, but and I discovered there is a Florida chapter which isn't very active, but there are half a dozen members around Tampa, which is about a mile and a half, about an hour and a half drive from me. And I hope to be involved with them.
Well, you can start organizing that and make it happen.
Actually, there's someone who is working on it, so I don't want to step on her toes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Hold on for a cough. I'm sorry about that. Joy, I know when we were all originally talking a few days ago, you were talking about when this first started and the things you used to do, and when everybody lived in New York and you'd have these get-togethers. Now everything is primarily virtual. How have those things changed for you, and how do you think that they've remained the same?
Well, I think when I joined EFA, it was pre-Zoom days, and you were pretty much limited to meeting the people in your local area. And of course, with COVID, that jump-started all sorts of virtual meetings for almost every group, right? And that's how we could only meet for a while. But now EFA has what, like 24, 25 chapters or something like that. And you can go to any chapter's virtual meetings, and they're posted about on the website, and get information about what different chapters are doing. And so there's so much more opportunity to network with people and learn from different people. And you could probably go to an EFA event almost every day of the week, if you want.
Right.
So that's pretty awesome. And you can get really specialized about advice about what you need. And you can even offer to do a webinar,
Yeah.
and share
Yeah.
your expertise with others.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think it's really helped in that sense. I think technology in general has helped us with that, with jobs. When you think about the fact that we used to only apply for jobs in your own little area of the world, and now everybody is able to apply for some. It doesn't bode well for the people job seeking, because you've got competition all over the world, not just in your little city. But it has changed things a lot. Sheila, how about you?
Well, when EFA first began, it was such a New York organization. We had maybe a handful of people that were outside the New York metro area, and we had so few non-resident members, as we call them, that we actually charged them less to join, because they couldn't. Well, because all our events were done in the city at our office, and all our classes were taught there. All our quarterly meetings were there. Everything came out of the New York office. And if you weren't able to get into New York City, you weren't really able to participate in much. I mean, you could still be in the directory and do the job list and all of that, but it just seemed fair to charge people less. And once the organization started being much more national, we had to get rid of that, because it stopped making sense. It was much easier to charge everyone the same amount. But that shows you how different the organization is now than when Elliot and I were in it, as when we were most active in it. The other thing that just amazed me to learn was how many overseas members we have. It was like, what was the numbers, like 500?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, somebody just Avina put in the chat that EFA has a West Asia, Africa, and Europe WAAE chapter now.
Really amazing. Amazing. Hi, Vina.
That started with you guys. You started it all.
Our most when I was first involved, we had a few members in the UK, and we had some members in Canada. And I don't think we had anybody outside of that for a long time. And then once the organization started being much more online, everything changed, of course. But it really fascinates me that we have so many overseas members, especially because there are equivalent organizations overseas, right? In the UK, there's that Copy Editors, can't remember the name of it, and there's Editors Canada, and there used to be an Australian organization. I don't know if they're still around.
Yeah. That Marie, I love your suggestion. I would love to see a map of where EFA members live. That would be really cool. Just to have.
I think I'm pretty sure we have members in every state.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's other countries, right?
Yeah. And then a lot of overseas members. But when we got to members in every state, that was like a big milestone right then.
Yeah.
Right?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And how about you, Elliot?
Well, when I was EFA co-exec in 90 to 92, I remember I'd always look at the names of the out-of-towners who joined, and I recognized about half the names because they were all ex-New Yorkers.
Right.
They joined to stay in touch with the publishing industry in New York.
Right.
It was later on, like when Sheila, when you were co-exec in the mid-90s, that we started really growing and getting in totally new people. who are outside the New York, Connecticut, New
Yeah.
Jersey area.
Yeah, well, we did merge. There was I don't want to call it a
Boston.
rival organization, but there was another editorial organization called the
Boston.
Freelance Editorial Association, Freelance Editors, can't remember, it was Freelance Editorial Association, I think. They were primarily based in Boston,
Yeah.
and they wanted to basically merge with us and go out of business, which we did. But that a lot of the members were from the Boston area, so they formed a very active Boston chapter that kind of gradually died away. And I don't know if there is a Boston area chapter right now or not.
Something to keep in mind is, unlike other professional organizations, freelancing is a status that changes.
Yeah.
Not everyone stays a freelancer, and much of the membership growth and people leaving is because they're not freelancers anymore.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
It's not like, if you're in a certain profession, you stay in that for your entire career. No, if you can be an editor, an indexer, proofreader, whatever. You can be working in-house, become a freelancer, go back to working in-house, go back to doing something else. So the membership turns over a lot, and this is because people are disenchanted, because people are no longer freelancers.
Yeah. Yeah. When we used to run a group for people who were new to freelancing, right? And they weren't necessarily new to being editors at all. Some of them were very skilled and had been working in-house for decades, some of them, and then they ended up being unemployed and freelancing instead. So their editorial skills were great, but they didn't know how to create an invoice, right? So we ran a group for them that would meet, like, I don't know, every few months, again in the office, right? And I think we have so many resources online now between the classes and the other resources that we have for people who are new to freelancing, that there's really no particular reason to have a group get together at all. Right?
Yeah.
But, the other big thing I've noticed, and this is just an impression, is when I was most active in EFA, the membership was, I think, a bit older than it is today on average. What I see with the current organization is that people are freelancing. They're starting to freelance at a much younger age. Most of the freelancers in my generation spent years, sometimes decades, in-house before they became freelancers, and just honing their skills. And also there was a demand for their skills, so they always had a job, right? Today, I'm seeing many younger people who have had undergraduate courses of publishing, which didn't exist in my day. And then they're freelancing at a much earlier stage in their career, and which I love. It's great to have so many younger members keeping us sharp, but it was just, it's been, I think that's been a big change in the overall composition of the membership, is that the average age is probably about 10 years younger than it was when I was most active.
Yeah. And I think that too, well, I think that's a whole new generation thing too, right? I mean, look at digital nomads and everything.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
when people realize that they don't have to stay in one place, that they can go someplace else and work, what a better way to do that than to be a freelancer, right?
Well, exactly.
And technology has allowed us to do that. So you're no longer just stuck in a place and have to go to the same desk every day. So, that's what I did the same thing. I've been on and off freelancing my whole life, and I'm back to freelancing. And I think that's where I'm going to stay. So, I like it. I like to be a free bird. But it says here, the EFA Autumn says the average age of EFA members today is 46.8, assuming everyone is telling the truth on their member profile. And everybody is 105 pounds.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yes. Yeah. The other thing that always impressed me about EFA membership is how educated everyone is. A huge percentage of our membership has an advanced degree.
Yeah. Are there stats on that? Because that would be interesting to know.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Years ago, there was a job on the job list. This would be maybe 2002 to 2003. This guy was working on a book on Byzantine architecture, and he needed a copy editor. And the copy editor needed to know Greek, German, and I think it was Hebrew.
Wow.
Right. So when I was doing the job list, I didn't usually follow up with this stuff because there were just too many jobs and you just couldn't. But I actually checked in with this guy. A couple
oh,
weeks
cool.
later. So I was so curious. I just said, did you find anyone for this job? He said, well, I'm looking at 5 candidates. I haven't decided which one yet.
Whoa.
Right. I mean, that's what when I say the EFA membership is highly educated, that's what I mean.
Wow.
Right.
And that answers the question as to why when you answer something that's like, I specialize in children's books and teens. And when one of those pops into the job list, I always go for it right away. But then I think they get swept up right away, right? Because there's more of us out there. So.
Well, yeah, that's the perennial problem with the job list is that you have the whole membership chasing after the same number of jobs. And I know, Joy, you've wrestled with this. I wrestled with it. I'm sure whoever's in charge of the job list today is wrestling with it. It's because at one time we were kind of the only game in town for that sort of thing. But with the growth of websites like Fiverr and Upwork and Reedsy and all of that, there are a lot of ways to find a qualified editor. Right?
Yeah.
The EFA advantages is that you're going directly to really qualified people as opposed to putting it on something like Fiverr where anybody can answer and you can't really.
Yeah, and here you're getting quality. I wouldn't. I'm a little leery about Fiverr.
That's probably not a good example. Upwork might be better, but
yeah, Upwork is great. I love Upwork.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, EFA made the change to release the job list notices at, I think it was noon Eastern rather than like 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern, because folks on the West Coast were like, well, they're already filled by the time.
Yeah. Well, we used
to wake up.
I mean, when I posted them, we used to wait until I used to do it like around between 11 and 12 so that West Coast could still be involved. But now, now we got people who are 5 hours ahead of us instead of 3 hours behind. Right? So.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I'm on the flip. I'm on the West side. So
right.
It's I like when I'm on the East side and I have to look backwards to talk to people here. It's a better, to me, it's an easier switch.
I don't know. I have a client right now who's in Thailand and he's 11 hours ahead.
Wow.
When we go to daylight savings time, I'm still confused. Is he going to be 11 hours ahead, 10 hours ahead, or 12 hours ahead?
Yeah, and that's a difficult thing to decide when to talk. I mean, I'm trying to figure, well, you could do like 10, anywhere in the 8, 9, or 10 zone, I think, because
that's, I mean, we've been, I've been tending to email him in the late afternoon and then there's an answer waiting for me in the morning. But
that's great. It's interesting. So again, when we first spoke, you all had some really fun stories. Like, I'd like to hear a fun story from each of you. You were telling really great tales of when you started and how things were. Do you have a fun story to share with the whole group here? Each of you, I'd like to hear about the EFA and any what things were like then versus now, how they've changed, something that's of interest.
I can tell you about the EFA miracle.
What is? Oh, we need to know that.
Elliot, do you remember this? This goes back to the Clinton administration. Okay, and it was when we had the office on 23rd Street in the Masonic Building.
Wow.
And there was the health insurance question was a big issue for EFA members because it was very hard to get health insurance, and not that anything's really changed, but we got some speakers in to talk about it, and it was a big crowd. We probably had about, maybe we could fit 50 people in there, and I think we were kind of overflowed. A huge crowd, and it's over. Everybody goes home, and I'm helping put the chairs away, and there's somebody had left like an orthopedic cane, a quad cane, the kind of that you would only carry around if you really needed it, right?
Right.
Not a decorative sort of cane, right? And somebody had left it behind. So I told the office manager, listen, if somebody's they're gonna notice that they don't have their cane, they're gonna call, right? And just do what you can to get this cane back to this person. Never called, and that cane was floating around the office for months, right? It was a miracle.
that the poor person who lost it.
Person who lost it never got in touch with us, never needed, apparently never needed it again. Right?
They just got, you're right. They just got up and went, it's a miracle. I can walk. That's how you all inspired them and influenced
That's right.
them.
That medical insurance thing they said, I
The
better get
medical-
better so I don't need to worry about my medical insurance.
That is
I have no idea, but
hilarious. I don't need
Yeah.
the cane anymore. Woohoo!
You should talk about the Scrabble nights.
Oh yes, the Scrabble nights. And
yes.
Ollie, should we start with Ollie's Ollie?
Yeah, Ollie, tell
Ollie, you start with the story because
Oh, we were going through the office, Autumn and I, and we found like 3 or 4, maybe 5 Scrabble sets. You're like, what are these for? And I actually took one home.
Right. Did you find the dog-eared Scrabble dictionary?
I don't think we did. Autumn, did we see that too?
Oh, there was at least one copy of that.
Yeah, so tell the story about
I'm gonna
Scrabble.
fess up. I have the dictionary. This is Vina. I have the Scrabble dictionary.
All right.
It's
Well,
probably really outdated by now, though.
I should hope so. Yes. So
That's
you've got to
great.
remember that EFA is an organization full of people who love words, right? We're
Yeah.
editors, we're writers, we're copy editors. Words are important to us. So people like to play Scrabble. And we used to have an office. I mean, we've had several offices. The original office on 20th Street, and we ended up in 2 different spots in the Masonic Building on 23rd and 6th. But some of the members said, let's have Scrabble night. And this became a big EFA tradition. It was once a month, except in the summer, I think. There were a couple members who were very conscientious about organizing it and sending out notices about it. And the members would get together and they would have a very intense evening of Scrabble, right? But the scores would be in the 400s sometimes. I mean, you know, if I play Scrabble and break 100, I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah.
I'm the world's worst Scrabble player, but there were some very intense players. So that's why we had at least 4 sets, and some people brought their own. There was one person who always the Scrabble board that's on like a turntable. There's someone who brought her personal Scrabble set with her.
That's
right?
the 400 person right there.
Yeah, that's a serious Scrabble.
That
player,
was the
right?
one to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people would bring snacks, and it was a real social event, and that's something that's it's kind of important for editors. You know, we work at home, we're by ourselves a lot.
Mhm.
You know, we're not necessarily the most outgoing people to begin with, and we don't necessarily have a reason to, I mean, leave the house necessarily for
Yeah.
days on end sometimes, right? So it was important for some people to have a Scrabble night where they could get together with, you know, fellow members, and there was a certain amount of professional conversation going on there. I know people traded jobs around,
Yeah.
right? And they would, you know, they knew they were going to be seeing someone that week, and they would say, by the way, call so-and-so, he needs a copy editor, right?
Yeah, that's great. I
Yeah.
think you should bring back Scrabble nights. Although I'd be very intimidated to play Scrabble with a room full of
You know,
editors.
I
would
never
be.
went because it was like, I didn't dare play Scrabble with these people. They took it seriously. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I would be
But there are, you can play virtual Scrabble apparently, so maybe we could try that.
right. There's something to that. Yeah, a lot of people, you know, a lot of deals are struck over games, right? Like
Yeah,
they have
exactly.
here in Los Angeles, they have poker nights. A lot of people
Mhm.
do
Oh,
play poker and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Watch
there's,
out, don't do that. Elliot's a dangerous poker player.
are you, Elliot?
I have a similar story. Don't remember what you were, Sheila, when did we have those off-topic courses?
Oh, yeah, we used to, in the summer, just for fun, we would have people teach courses. On like,
I gave a
hobby
course.
area.
I gave a course on how to win at blackjack. Really,
Right.
introduction to card counting, and
Oh,
there were
ooh.
about a dozen or 18 people there for that. Of course, couldn't go into too much detail, and you really had you have to really be able to control the numbers, you know, in your head while playing in a real casino. I wound up being very disliked in some casinos. Every time I sit down at the blackjack table at one of the Trump casinos, I'd be surrounded by security people. And
Right,
instead
yeah.
of someone who, sit down next to me, if I'm playing for them, I say, gee, you're really far ahead. And I'll say, how the hell do you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not too bad, but boy, you're watching me all the time.
Right, yeah.
Boy, he was watching me all the time. But I gave up being a blackjack card counter when I realized that you had to be secretive. But if you're playing poker, video poker, you could have the strategy card right in front of you, and you're not breaking any rules. You're not getting any harassment. So my wife and I are still thousands of dollars ahead in our casino when I was winning.
Really.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, those were fun courses.
Yeah.
We had Patricia Godfrey, sadly gone, who was our longtime secretary, and a really great person. Was an amateur genealogist, and she taught a course in genealogy. And then we had
Very cool.
I have one I'll never forget, where the instructor was teaching relaxation techniques. Right, so she had us all. The office floor was carpeted, so she had us all lying on the floor, and she taught us how to do progressive relaxation. And there were maybe, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 of us, and she put at least 2 people to sleep.
Oh, we need that person back.
Yeah, we did. But they were fun. That was fun. It was just it was like summer session. We did them in the summertime, and they were just people had hobbies, and they just shared them with us. With their members, and just for fun.
I love that. I love hearing these stories because it is much more, when you think of just, like a professional organization or something,
Yeah.
These are friendships that you've developed over these
Yeah,
years.
I think EFA, the thing that differentiated EFA for me from other organizations like AMWA and ASJA and all the others was, first of all, we were all freelancers, right? And we worked in many, many different aspects of freelancing, but what tied us all together was not that we were freelance copy editors, but that we were freelancers, right? So it didn't really matter what your area was, you were a freelancer. And there's a level of camaraderie and collegiality that I have not found in any other organization of professional organization, and a kind of a relaxed attitude that I haven't found in other organizations either.
That's wonderful. That's actually a perfect question, because I'll wrap up my questions, and then we should open this up. If anybody else has questions, you can either drop them in the chat or ask your questions. But I'll end with this question. I wanted to say, like, what would you tell somebody interested in joining the EFA? Because I'm assuming in here we have some people who may or may not be members. Someone interested in joining the EFA, about the organization and why they should join. I'd like to hear from each of you. Let's start with Joy.
I would absolutely tell them to join, and absolutely tell them to volunteer in some capacity, whatever feels right for you. If you start small, like maybe with your local chapter, just start going to the meetings and meeting people in person. It makes a huge difference whether people remember you or not, and feel like they can trust you to refer work to you. And then maybe you work up to, helping to organize some sessions for your chapter. Then maybe you decide you're going to run for a member at large for the organization board, or maybe you decide you're going to get involved with one of the affinity groups, like the academic editors group or something. It's just, it takes your contribution and what you get out of it to a whole new level when you volunteer, versus just paying the dues and reading the job list and reading the discussion list. You'll get so much more out of it by volunteering.
Yeah, absolutely.
More.
And then helps you to create these deeper friendships that you guys been talking about on this chat here, and
learning like leadership skills too.
Absolutely,
all that stuff.
Yeah. Which, by the way, sometimes we, when you're an editor or a writer, as you've talked about here, when you're all alone all the time, it's hard to have to work in a team, and you don't really get to do that very often. And so those leadership skills come in handy to learn that thing with teamwork and bigger teams and the whole thing.
Good point.
Yeah, I think it's
practice.
It is good practice for it. Elliot, anything you'd like to leave this?
Say the same thing. It's really important to get to meet people, exchange your histories, exchange information without promoting yourself too much. Don't be obnoxious, you know. But you really have to meet up with other people with the same skills as you, people with complementary skills. Like other people refer to indexing work to me, I'd refer to, you know, like specialized copy editing or to other people. Just, you know, it's easy to do when we were meeting face to face, but even now electronically, you can be, you know, connected with people all over the world here now. But you got to meet people and you got to make yourself available to do volunteer work.
Oh, yes. Yes, for sure. In life in general, volunteering is really great. Sheila?
I would say I would echo what Joy and Elliot have said. It's really important to, if you join, don't just join, be active within the organization. There's always something. There's always a need for volunteers. They'll find something for you to do, and even if it's as simple as organizing or helping to organize your chapter, right? But the key thing to me for EFA is that it helps with the isolation of freelancing.
Yeah.
You know, and people, you know, you have questions that relate to how you run your business, or you just have this, like, your computer's not doing what it's supposed to do, or Word is all messed up, or you've got this non-grammatical question that's, you know, it's just beyond you what the answer is, right? And that's where, you know, posting on Discord or the discussion lists and having people just immediately jump in and help you, right? It gets rid of that feeling of being all by yourself, and that sense of community is really important, and knowing that there's backup, that you're not on your own. If something you really can't figure out, there's somebody who's willing to help you, and being willing to help others at the same time. I mean, that's, to me, that's the essence of what EFA is all about.
That's wonderful. I think that's really good. I realized that today when I was sitting in one of the sessions about like finance and stuff. And it was interesting to see like different programs that other people used. And, you know, it's guiding me on things that I want to change. You know, in my own business, like running my own business now, with that particular session today was really helpful. I thought I learned a lot. So and by the way, sessions like this and the workshops and everything else that the EFA offers are very valuable. You know, it's a wonderful organization. So does anybody else here have any questions? Raise your virtual hand because I can't see everybody here. So
Well, I see there's a question for Elliot.
Oh, but yeah, I saw it in the chat. I was sorry.
Yeah.
The question was, what do I use? What do I recommend? I use Syndex. There are 3 main indexing programs that have been historically used with Syndex, Macrex, and Sky. There's a whole bunch of new indexing programs out there that do different things, especially embedded indexing. I haven't been using any of them. I'm getting too old to start learning all new software. But there are discussions of this sort of thing within the American Society for Indexing, but Syndex recently became public domain. It's free because of exchange of problems with ownership and stuff. The history of that isn't important, but Syndex is free. I have the new version, but I'm still using an old version because I haven't bothered to read the manual for the new version, which is different. But Syndex is very popular. Sky is popular. Macrex is, I think, the oldest of the current batch. There were indexing programs before these. The one that I used in DOS, which didn't last all that long before I wanted to switch over to Syndex. But one of the things,
I think half this audience doesn't know what DOS is, Elliot.
DOS before Windows, before Macs,
before all of it.
Operating system was the operating system that ran your computer. I'm not we don't have time for you to go into the history of this, but I used to work on 3x5 cards. You probably heard the story from me before. I used to buy 3x5 cards, 10,000 at a time. I had 2 typewriters. I typed the cards on an old manual Olympia, then typed the manuscript. This, remember, before computers were in use. I typed manuscript on my IBM Model D. My IBM Model D didn't make the move. We couldn't fit into the truck, and
too bad, Elliot.
Well,
wow.
I'm seeing Model Ds for sale for like $35 because no one wants them. But there's tons of software out there that this again from American Society for Indexing or the IDG list, the Indexing Discussion Group email list. They're always talking about the advantages and disadvantages of all these different programs. If you don't want to spend the money getting into ASI, get on the IDG email list, and you can find lots of discussion about this.
Thanks, Elliot. That's very informative. Thank you. Dana, you have your hand raised.
Thanks. This has been so enjoyable. Thank you all for participating. I have done a lot of articles for, well, that doesn't matter. My question, where do you see the EFA fitting in, like in the future? Like if you have to imagine an EFA like 5, 10, 20 years from now, what do you think we are going to be doing? How are we going to be serving people? Do you still see us serving, a purpose and existing?
I don't think AI is going to put us out of business. I think the organization will continue to be important to people for professional support, for camaraderie, for the job list, whatever version of it will be in the future. The directory, I mean, a lot of the services we offer now and the courses and the webinars, I think will continue to be important because the technology we use will continue to evolve and the nature of the communications industry will continue to evolve. And I think that there will always be a need to help our members keep up with that and make the adjustments, right? It's hard to say what, we thought that the advent of word processing, for example, was going to change us a lot. I don't see the publishing industry being really a whole lot different today than it was when I first started in it. I think that there's a lot more demand for, I mean, we still have a lot of members who work in traditional publishing and who work on textbooks and, the sort of less exciting aspects of publishing. I think that will continue. I think there's always going to be a need for editors to help with dissertations and scholarly articles and stuff like that. It's hard to know what new forms of communication will develop in the future. Some of us work on, I used to write blog posts for one of my clients. He's moved over to Instagram. I don't do blog posts for him anymore. I don't know if he's better off or worse off because of that, but the next big thing, the next big TikTok or Instagram or something, and who knows what that's going to be, right? But I think one thing EFA is always going to be available for is to help people adapt to whatever comes along, right? Because the things can change in a hurry, and it's hard to keep up sometimes.
Yeah. Well, for as much technology as there is these days, you think about how much more people write, like how much regular lay people write every day. Right. You send texts, you comment on threads, you do all this stuff. There's people, and when you see it, sometimes you're like, oh, good Lord, use a period somewhere. So I think there are many openings for instructionals for just regular normal people to learn some basic skills. So there will always be room for teaching.
Yeah, and I don't think that Grammarly and AI is going to take over just yet.
No.
I think, if you think about it, you've been using AI for a long time because you've been using tools like Grammarly and spell check, right? And there's a lot of concern that people are reading less, but I think they aren't really. They're just reading differently. They're reading more online materials and fewer printed books or even fewer ebooks, but they're still reading an awful lot. And the basic need for people to help communicate clearly and effectively is always going to be there. I don't
Yeah.
think it can be totally AI'd away.
Yeah, let us pray for that.
I have a couple thoughts. One is that I learned about Erin surveys. You know, she's developed this specialty in helping editors learn about AI and how we can use it to make ourselves faster and more efficient and have more ideas and stuff. And so I don't think it's going to replace it, but yeah, I think we have to know about it too if we're going to stay alive in this field and how to use it. And I think EFA has done a good job with integrating the new things. We've got like what, I don't know, 8 or 10 different social media feeds now. It's not like we stick with, oh, we're only on Facebook, you know, because it's just, it doesn't appeal to the whole population. And I think there's a big emphasis on diversity, you know, meeting different people's needs, which I think is huge. And one thing before we run out of time is I just want to say that the process that happened over the last 5 or so years in which EFA went from an all volunteer led organization to where now we have like what, 5 employees plus a full-time executive director was a huge and frankly painful process.
Yeah.
And I just want to shout out to the people who made that happen. And a big among them was Cody Cisco and Katie Grenfell. And you know, that was a big deal. And I think it helps the EFA to serve their members much better. And hooray.
Yes.
Yeah, hooray.
Yeah, definitely. Having Autumn around as our full-time director has been great.
Yes. Yes, and cheers for Autumn, everybody. Yes.
You know, I've worked with Vina for a long time, and we've been very fortunate in our staff members over the years. We had a lot of really good part-time office managers, and well, a couple who weren't so great, but mostly very good. And people who stayed in touch with us after they moved on to other things, and they were really great. And it's amazing to me that the organization has grown to the extent that we need these people, right? And they're doing such a good job that they're making the organization grow. So it becomes very circular, and it's great.
Yep. And yeah, everybody too, Autumn just said, and thanks for all the staff and everybody who works so hard and all the volunteers and the board members who are here, everybody, just cheers to everybody. And I want to thank all the 3 of you, Joy, Sheila, and Elliot, for this panel today. Thank you, Ollie, for being our fearless leader for the panel and putting this whole thing together and guiding us. And does anybody want to end with anything profound to leave the world, except for, let me end with, I am totally in for the Bananagrams tournament. If anybody wants to do that, I'm in. It's my favorite game.
Okay.
So.
All right.
So I don't have anything profound, but Elliot, I think this is Autumn. Vina paired us up for poker. I cannot tonight. I am exhausted, but tomorrow we can gather. We can play poker in the lounge after the closing session.
Okay. All right.
I love it.
At your own risk.
I absolutely love it. I think we all want a little lesson in the card counting, though. That's what we should. Can't wait for the I can't wait for the card counting class.
EFACon 26. Elliot's got to teach us how to count cards.
Yeah, heck yeah. Mama needs some money over here. So
Autumn pulled up the slide for what's happening next. So I wanted to jump in and talk about our 4 a.m. International Members Networking Session. Is it
4 a.m.
like the evening for you because you live in a country that's not the USA? We got you. There's a networking session happening just for you. It's going to be led by one of our co-coordinators for the brand new international chapter, Roxanne Goldberg, and then also we have Aisha Ash leading it, who's also one of our social media working group chairs and just does so much volunteer work around the organization and is so wonderful. So a little shout out to Ash as well. But and then tomorrow, Autumn, I did the coffee chat this morning. I made people talk about birds with me. And tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., Autumn is going to be ready to chat with you guys. I don't know. I don't think it'll be birds with Autumn, but I'm sure it'll be something. And you should be there and you should hang out.
There will be no birds unless we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. But other than that, I got nothing on birds.
But yeah, did you want to say anything else, Autumn, before we close up?
No, I think that's it. The gather party will stay going all night, so feel free to pop in, join each other at the poker tables and the other game tables in the lounge, or just have conversations. Otherwise, I will see you there and gather at 10 a.m. Like Ollie said, we will be right back in Zoom room 1 tomorrow morning at 10:30. Double check your conference program. It should be the emails that you got today, yesterday. You'll get another set tomorrow. Those are the correct links for the Zoom rooms. I think there was a little bit of confusion between days 1 and day 2, but the emails that you got have the correct Zoom rooms. So we will see you back in Zoom room 1 at 10:30. And if you are outside of North America, then hopefully you get a chance to network with other members at 4 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you guys so much. This conversation was amazing. I had such a good time listening to you go down memory lane. And thanks to our hostess with the mostest, Lisa, for such a great conversation, keeping it going.
Yes, thank you guys all so much. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I hope to see some of you in Gather. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.